Let's get into that a little bit, because I think that that's what I think you've done better than most. And let's get into the 5-second rule, because I feel
Yep.
our entire life is based off these choices. I had just posted about it today, and you have this philosophy. Can you, for those that haven't read the book yet,
Yep.
and I want to get into how this integrates into both personal and into business.
Sure.
But what is the 5-second rule?
So the 5-second rule is a self-coaching tool. That's all that it is.
Okay.
And it's something that I invented literally 20 feet from here in my bedroom, although that bedroom wasn't built back then. We're in the new section of the house.
Love it.
The old section did not look like this. My husband, it was something that I invented to beat my habit of hitting the snooze button. And the way that it works is very simple. The moment that you need to do something and you can feel yourself hesitating and you can feel the excuses rolling in, count backwards to yourself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and something weird will happen. The moment you get to 1, you'll actually move. And I invented it by mistake. I invented it during, I think, the worst moment of my life, which was 2008. Chris and I, my husband of 22 years, we were about to lose everything.
Wow.
His restaurant business was going under. I had just been fired from a job, my first job in the media business. So I was just wallowing in self-doubt because I thought, boy, have I really screwed up. I had changed my career, taken a risk, gone into the media business. It didn't work out. I felt like a total loser. I felt like I made a big mistake. We had 3 children, mortgage to pay. The entire house had been used to leverage the business. So had our life savings, so had the kids' college savings. I mean, just on the verge of losing it all. Chris was sleeping on the couch, and I just couldn't get out of bed. And so I invented this thing, the 5-second rule, one night when I saw a rocket ship fly across a television screen at the end of a commercial, and it gave me this idea. And the idea was, I wonder if I launched myself out of bed so fast, I wonder if I could move fast enough that I could beat the self-doubt and anxiety that I felt every single morning when I would wake up. And it was really that dumb and that simple of an idea. And for whatever reason, when the alarm went off that next morning, what happened is what happens to all of us all day long. Inspiration strikes, so the alarm goes off, and use the alarm clock as a metaphor for those moments when you know you should do something. And the alarm goes off, and what's interesting is most of us don't have a problem with what we need to do. It's how we make ourselves do the shit that's hard. So the alarm went off, and immediately my mind woke up, and my mind started spinning, as our minds do.
Yeah.
And I started immediately thinking, like most of us do, when the alarm goes off, fuck, I don't want to get up. It's cold. I don't want to face the day. I'm unemployed. And then the body starts to kind of get a little tense when anxiety comes in, or you start to feel overwhelmed about the shit you got to deal with. And I felt myself reaching for the snooze alarm like I always did. But that morning I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And by the time I hit 1, I was standing up, and I was kind of freaked out because why would something so simple work? But I went on with my day. And I used it the next morning and the next morning and the next morning. And then I started to wonder, God, I see that it works as a cheat for the alarm clock, but I wonder if it could work for other things. So I started to use it for every moment in my life where I knew what to do, but I didn't feel like it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, literally just decimates any excuse that you have. And as I started to use it in my life to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, not be an asshole to Chris. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, turn and walk away from the bourbon and not have a drink. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pick up the phone and network. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, walk out the door and go to the gym. Everything changed because my decisions changed. And the thing that was interesting about that period of my life is that there were a couple things that is true for all of us that got revealed to me in that moment. And here's what's true for all of us. Number 1, our life is defined by our decisions. Number 2, most of us know what we should be doing.
Right.
Number 3, if you're in a situation where you should do something and the excuses roll in, you only have 5 fucking seconds before the excuses win.
Yeah.
That's it. And it has to do with how your brain is designed. And so I started seeing this 5-second window everywhere. Everywhere. You walk into a networking meeting and the 5-second window is right there because you look around and you see all these people you should talk to and you feel yourself freeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can start walking. If you're trying to sell something, the 5-second window is always there because you either have a phone you need to pick up and make a phone call, or you have a person you need to talk to, but instead of doing it, that 5-second window's right there and the excuses roll in, and then you're not doing it.
Yep.
And so
it's almost like we talk ourselves out of it, right? After 5 seconds, like, why not to do it?
Well, and then it's even more sophisticated than that, which is what I discovered. And what's more sophisticated about it is that you have 2 modes to your brain. You have the prefrontal cortex, which is the mode of your brain. It's the front part of your brain that does all your strategic planning, your decision making, not all your decision making, that's wrong. It does your intentional decision making, conscious decision making. It's what you're using when you're acting with courage. It's what you're using when you are learning anything new. If you've ever taken a standardized test, when you walk out of a standardized test, what do you have? You have a freaking headache because you've been using this part of your brain. That's the one part. The other part is the interior part of your brain, which automates everything. It's where self-doubt is. It's where habits are. It's where automated decision-making is. It's where every negative bullshit shit that we do, it's stuck right here. So what the 5-second rule is actually doing on a very sophisticated level is it's switching off this part and awakening the part that gives you control. And so the problem with our excuses, if you want to get into the brain science, is that if you start to think, and you start to think, I feel tired, or I don't want to, or I'm too stressed out, or now's not the right time, that becomes automatic and it gets encoded right here. So part of the problem with our excuses is that when you stop and think and hesitate, you trigger your brain to automatically talk you out of it. That's the problem. It's not the excuses, it's that your brain has done it over and over and now it takes over.
Right.
So I invented the world's most powerful cheat code for the brain. One night when I was drunk, sitting in my living room watching television.